Hey everybody. So for this video here, you probably clicked on it because you want to learn how to import students using the seating chart generator. So a couple things I'm going to go over. So we're going to learn how to import students. We're going to learn how to add seats. We're going to learn how to save a class template, load a class template, and then how to use the zoom button. But before we get into that, real quick, just want to make sure that if you don't have the extension installed, you should see a button up here. And if you don't see, you should see this button up here. And if you don't see this green button here, then go ahead and click refresh on Google Classroom and it should show up. If it doesn't, please feel free to reach out and I can help you troubleshoot that. So before we actually get into launching the seating chart, you need to make sure that you are on a class you're teaching. So this class right here is just a class I made up and I called it tutorials because I'm making this tutorial. And I have a teacher here, and the name of the teacher is tutorial teacher. And then I have a few demo students in this classroom. So once you have that set up, once you have your classes set up, go to one of your classes, make sure you're on the People tab when you're ready to import, and then you're going to go ahead and click Launch Seating Chart. Now I've already set up my password, okay, but I'm just going to unlock, and you'll see here that in the drop-down menu, it's already listed your class name. My class name was Tutorial, so it imported that class name, and then you're going to get the option here to import students. Now before you make any templates, I recommend that you go ahead and import your students. It will give you the option to save a template if you forget and start building later, but you might run into accidentally losing your work if you don't import students first. But just make sure when you're prompted for that, if you do that, that you save your template so you don't lose any hard work that you did when you were setting up your classroom. So we're going to click Import Students, and because I was on that People tab, you'll see that it has imported 3 students. Now if you have more than 3, it's going to import all of those students off of that tab. And then now you've got them set up over here, okay? And you'll see that the background of these are white because they haven't been placed anywhere. And you can click in here and change their name, okay? So one of the things I always like to do at the beginning of the semester is, they might not go by, Jack or Jane or John, or maybe you have 2, okay, 2 of the same students' names. So then you can change it so that, you have initial of the last name. You can delete this. I like to use first names unless I have students with the same name because it just shows up nicer in the seats, but by all means you can use last names as well. And then if you once you import students, if maybe the next day you get a new student added to your roster, you can always add a student here easily, no big deal. You just type their name in and you can add that student, and you can also change their name later if you need to. So nothing's really in stone with that. It's just a nice easy way. That feature's just really there to help you just save a step of having to type all the names out to be able to import them. Okay, so now what we want to do is learn how to save a template and then load a template. So I'm just going to make a basic template. Like maybe whenever I start my classroom, I add an object here, and let's just say that this is the front of the classroom, or maybe we have a clear touch, so I'll say that this is my clear touch. Okay, and you can drag this anywhere, so maybe this is the front of your classroom. Okay, clear touch TV, or whatever the front of your classroom is. Okay, just a reference point, and you can change that to whatever you want. And then let's say we want to add a desk, so you can add as many as you want at one time. Okay, by clicking, like if you wanted to add 50 or if you wanted to add 30 desks, you can create them all at one time. For this, I'm just going to add them as singles, so I'll add, let's say, 6 desks. So I'll click this 6 times, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you'll notice that it's going to automatically find space on here and place those, where they're not stacked on each other, so that you can easily find them. And then we can move these desks anywhere we want. So just to keep it simple, I'll put these 2 here, and maybe I'll make 2 groups of 3. And then I can click that randomize button, and you can see it'll place those students. And those students have changed from white to blue because that means that they have been placed. One other thing, if you don't like seeing all this, this is kind of busy. You know, you've got a star here and a lock here, and I'll go over what those mean in future videos. You can click this I button and it'll turn that off, so that's a much cleaner look. So when you're ready to show students where they're seated, there's that. And then one other cool little thing that I built into this is that when you hover over the names, it will easily show where they are. So if you have a student who can't find their seat, if you hover over their names in the roster panel over here, it will highlight that for them. Okay, so let's now save this template. So all you're going to do is go over here and click Save Template, and we'll just call this, you know, Template 1, and then hit OK. And it said it saved successfully. So if now, let's say I want to access this template. So maybe I, you know, accidentally, you know, cleared all this out, and I deleted some things, and I wanted to go back to the template that I wanted before. So we're just going to click Load Template, and there's that template that I had saved. And I'm going to click Load. And then from there, you can place your students back by clicking Randomize. All right, so one last thing that I do want to cover is the Zoom button. So the Zoom button is there really to make those desks bigger. I didn't like the idea of having different size desks, and I felt like you could build your desks into tables simply by moving them into like a you know, this grid-like format. So in order to make them bigger, you can zoom in or you can zoom out here. And then to get more real estate here, you can actually click these two tabs if you want to display that to be able to see that better. And those are these tabs right here. All right, so that's all for this first video. Hopefully that helps you learn how to import those students. I'll be going over some other features of this in future videos, but hopefully that got you started, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next video.